How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Windy City Digits. Once again, I'm flying solo tonight. Vic's out at a concert, but so we have some news for the Bulls. Bulls signed Andre Drummond at center. To be honest, with all the moves that were being made today, I honestly think that this wasn't a bad move. I think this was okay. Look, he provides you what you need. You need a rim protector. I know I'm seeing some things out there on Twitter where maybe he's a little bit step slow, whatever the case is. Look, he's 28. The last 2 or 3 seasons, his numbers haven't been great, but he was backing up AD and Embiid. And those guys got a majority of the minutes in the time he was playing. So, look, if you look at the numbers, let me go share these stats really quick here. Give me 1 second. And there we go. So if you look at the stats here, I mean, look, even the 1 year he was with the Lakers, it was a double-double that he was averaging. The last couple of years here with Philly, 8 rebounds a game, 6 points a game, but he was only playing like 18 minutes a game. Again, he's backing up Embiid. Just 2 years ago when he was in Cleveland, he's averaging 13 rebounds a game and 17 points a game, and that's in about 28 minutes. So for him to back up guys like Embiid and to still provide those kind of numbers, I think he's still got it left in the tank. And, it was only a $6 million deal for 2 years. So I think it was a good signing. I thought it was a great signing for the Bulls, so my hope is that Gallinari is going to be next. If we can get Gallinari, I think we got the two things that we needed. We needed shooting and we need a rim protector. And if you think about it, assuming everybody comes back healthy and re-sign Zach, we're coming back 11 deep. If you add the rookie in, if you had the rookie that we just drafted into the fold, that's 11 deep. I mean, you're looking at a second lineup with Io, AC, Gallinari, Javante, and Drummond, which to me is a pretty solid group. You've got great defenders out there with Io and AC. You've got a decent shooter in Gallinari. AC can shoot it. Io's getting better every day. You got your rim protector in Drummond. And again, look, what's up, Skolks? How's it going, brother? What'd you think of that signing since you're here? I think it was a great signing. I think it was a good one. So I think it provides value for us. Again, look, it's better than any other option we have right now at the backup center position. Tony Bradley wasn't getting it done, right? Jeffrey, what's going on? Yeah, I think it was a great sign. And the thing I didn't realize Drummond's only 28. Like, he's been in the league 10 years. He came in the league when he was 19. So, Skokes, look, I think, to be honest, like, I think they did their due diligence, but like, I'll be honest, I think part of the fact that they got dinged last year for trying to use back channels or whatever and signing Alonzo and then getting dinged for it and having a draft pick taken away, I think maybe played into that process a little bit. But, I don't know what it is that, like, and I mentioned this in the earlier video, right? I don't get how all these teams got all those signings done when you couldn't start communicating with those people until 6 o'clock Eastern today. And then within an hour, all these signings went off, so I don't know. I don't get it. Vic, if you're watching, man, I hope the concert went well. And I'm trying to hold down the fort without you, but stream's not the same without you, bro. So, look, again, I think this was a good signing. If we can get Gallinari, again, that second lineup is going to be pretty solid with Io, AC, Gallinari, Javante, and Drummond holding down the fort. So, I could see potentially looking in a situation toward the end of the game, if you needed someone for defense and rebounding, you could definitely bring in Drummond toward the end of the game. You can do an offensive defensive type thing. So I don't know what you guys think, but honestly, I think this was a great signing. It may not be the big name that everyone was hoping for, like maybe like a Mo Bamba or something like that, right? But look, a lot of these players end up going back to the same teams that they went with. There weren't very many players that went to a different team. The biggest name I can think of that went to a different team might have been PJ Tucker, right? That was a free agent signing, right? COD, thanks for the comment. Look, again, Andre Drummond is better than any option we've got right now. He's going to get you at least a double-double as a bench player. We didn't get that out of anybody in that spot. He's going to protect the rim, and he's going to get us rebounds. So that's all you can ask for. Look, think about it. In the second lineup, if you can get Drummond to get rebounds, get him an outlet to AC or Io and Javante and get the three other guys running, and then get Gallinari to spot up. If we can get Gallinari, get him to spot up for a shot. Look, I'll take that all day, every day compared to what we had before, because Tony Bradley was not the answer. No disrespect to Tony Bradley, but he was not the answer, right? Who knows what Marco is going to provide to you? Like, he is going to be in the summer league for us this year, and who knows what he's going to give to us. To me, Marco maybe is another year away, needs to put some more weight on, needs to play a little bit more. He did great with the Windy City Bulls. Don't get me wrong. Like, I watched him play a lot with the Windy City Bulls, and I thought he was great. I think he potentially could be a Vooch replacement, right? COD, yeah, JaVale McGee to the Mavs. I thought that was a great signing also. I don't know, 3 years I think was a little bit too much. But I guess that was the asking price. I don't know if he's got 3 years in him. That guy's been in the league forever, and I don't know if he's got 3 years left in him. But look, that was a good signing. He was better than Boban. That's for sure, right? I mean, I love Boban, don't get me wrong, but JaVale McGee gave the Suns something, and him matched up with Luka down there, he's definitely going to give him some energy down there. So would JaVale McGee would have been a good option here? Maybe. I don't know. I would almost rather have Drummond because he's younger. Maybe now that he's not – look, again, I brought this up earlier, right? Andre Drummond was playing behind AD and Joel Embiid the last 2 years. He's not going to get a lot of minutes. With this team, potentially he could get quite a few minutes. And I think if he gets extended minutes, like over 20, let's say over 22, 24 minutes a game, I think he could be really super productive on this team. And so far, Eversley and Arturas haven't given us any reason to doubt their ability to scout players, right? They've been able to bring some players in. Now, look, some of the bench guys they brought in that were no names, right, that we didn't know about until last year, like Troy Brown Jr. and Derrick Jones Jr. and some of these other guys, they did provide us something, maybe not as much as we had hoped for, right? But the other free agents, guys, big names that they've signed, AC, DeMar, and again, I'll remind everyone of DeMar. Everyone thought last year that DeMar, like, what was this signing? What did we overpay him? And he ended up being the diamond in the rough and a star in the league, potential MVP candidate for a while, right? So I think it was a good signing, right? And I think this is a good start. Again, it's not the big splashy name that we were hoping for, maybe, but I think he fits in. Bottom line, he fits in. I think we got to get the Zach thing done, and if we can get Gallinari, I think that's a good deal, right? COD, let's see, can average 10 points, 15 rebounds. Yeah, look, I think a double-double for sure is in the – I mean, look, if you just look at the numbers, let me pull it up again. Let's see. All right, so again, if you look at the numbers here, sorry, that's a little bit small. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, so again, I apologize, it's a little bit small here, but zoom that out a little bit. So right here, like the last 2 years with, again, when he played with Philadelphia, he was backing up Embiid. When he played with the Lakers, he was backing up AD. But the last year he played about 28 minutes with Cleveland. He was averaging 13 rebounds and 17 points a game. Again, that was a starting role, but I think with the Bulls, if he can get those kind of minutes, like 24 minutes a game, honestly, that's a double-double. I don't see any reason why. And if you can get that kind of production from your starter, we know Vooch is good for a double-double, right? And then you can get Drummond coming off the bench to add 10 more rebounds and 10 more points, and provide at least 1 or 2 blocks a game, because I think he's averaging a little bit over a block a game. I think this is a solid signing. Like I don't see how you can go wrong with that, right? With all the other options that were out there. Jeffrey, where do I think Ayton ends up? I don't know. The KD thing is crazy, right? He says he wants to go to Phoenix. So if they make a trade, it almost for sure has to include Ayton. So I would say if KD ends up in Phoenix, Ayton ends up in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn isn't that bad with some of the players they've got. The biggest question they've got is Ben Simmons, right? Yeah, look, Zach, from everything I've seen, right, Skokes, making a comment there about Zach. Everything I've seen about Zach with all the other teams he's talked to, everyone felt like they were a distant second. Everyone honestly felt like he had his mind pretty much made up he was going to sign with the Bulls. So I hope the KD thing doesn't mess it up. I saw a little report earlier that the Bulls did place a call into Brooklyn to see what it would take to get KD. I think it's two things. One, I don't think KD wants to come to Chicago. I think he wants to go to Phoenix or Miami. And two, I think it's too much for us to give up. I brought this up earlier. And thanks to everyone that's tuning into the stream. I really appreciate you guys tuning in here, right? Here's my thought on this, and this may not be a popular opinion. KD's 34, right? He's got 4 years left on his contract. If he signs, he's playing until he's 38. So that window's small that you're going to have the chance to win a championship with him. And in order to get him, you're going to have to trade some big-time assets in order to get him. And he's not the player where he can carry, like it was before. Like even when he won a championship, he had Steph, right? He had Clay. He had Draymond with him. If we were to get him, we would have to give up like an Io. We'd have to give up a Patrick Williams, maybe a DeMar and draft picks. And then there's not much left on the team, right? So honestly, I hope the Bulls don't pursue that. I know there's a lot of people out there hoping that we sign him, but you have to be realistic about it. The guy's 34. And I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's worth the trade, right? Stokes, I know you were with me earlier on the earlier stream. I don't know if it's good. And look, Stokes, we talked about this earlier too. I think Gallinari is the answer at that spot, right? Gallinari is a proven shooter. I saw, I forgot that, he was in Denver when AK was there. He was with Donovan for 1 year in Oklahoma City. So there's a connection there, right? And look, the Eversley connection to DeMar proved out to be in our favor, so I think it's a natural fit. And again, thanks to everyone that's joining into the stream right now. But look, again, that second unit we've got potentially, if we get Gallinari, right? That second unit right now is AC, Io, Gallinari, Javante, and Andre Drummond. To me, that's a solid second five. I'll put that five up against any bench in the league, right? I mean, those five probably won't play together all the time, but look, you won't have to play DeMar and you won't have to play Zach as much. You can possibly give them some good minutes on the bench, right? COD comment there about Gallinari going to the Celtics. I see right now it's down to the last two. It's down between the Celtics and the Bulls, between which two. And I think it's a matter of which team is going to look. The Celtics are loaded, right? And if I were Gallinari, like I think he's got a better opportunity to play more with the Bulls. I think the Celtics already have the two shooters, right? They've got Jaylen Brown, they've got Jason Tatum, they got Marcus Smart, right? He'll have an opportunity to play. How much he'll play, who knows, right? But I don't know. What do you guys think? Thanks everyone's tuning in. We really appreciate everyone's coming in. Listen, Gallinari, I think, is the answer, right? I'm kind of glad we're not pursuing some of these other trade things that was out there, right? But I think right now the biggest, you got to get Zach done. You got to get Zach signed, get him done, and then you got to get Gallinari. I think that's the answer, right? What do you guys think out there, right? I'm seeing all these moves, and again, for everyone that's tuning into the stream, I'm gonna harp on this till the cows come home, right? Like, I don't get, why is it that all these deals were made within an hour, right? When you can't start negotiating until 6 o'clock Eastern, and by 7 o'clock Eastern, I don't know how many deals were done, right? And then last year we got dinged for announcing a signing within 5 minutes of free agency opening. Something's not right there. Right. I mean, they announced the Bradley Beal deal within minutes. Right. Some of these other signings were just done. The Jalen Brunson thing. Right. That was the worst kept secret. And I don't know how that can't be considered tampering when pretty much every news outlet and everyone made it known the fact that they were trying to clear this cap space for Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson even went back and said, hey, to Dallas, hey, I'm not even going to talk to you. Like, I'm going to go ahead and sign with New York before he even knew what he was going to get. So to me, that's crazy, right? Jeffrey, yeah, I think Durant's going to cost too much. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are there any other shooters out there you think we could get, for a mid-level exception? From what I'm seeing, Gallinari would have to sign for mid-level exception around $8 million, $9 million. That's what I was kind of thinking, right? Ezekiel, easy money. Who do I think is winning the NBA Finals next season with the signings being done? I'll be honest. It's the Warriors to lose again. Warriors don't have to do much. It sounds like all the free agents want to come back. Looney sounds like he's going to resign. They lost Juan Toscano-Anderson today to the Lakers, but he didn't play much in the playoffs anyway. And then you got James Wiseman coming back. So to me, unless someone knocks them off, I think the Warriors are the favorite. And I know Skolks, you were with me the other night, right? And some of you guys were with us the other night. Look, the East is crazy good right now. Just even our division alone, Detroit got way better. Cleveland is on the come, right? The only team in our division really that hasn't done anything is Indiana. I mean, even Milwaukee did some work today, right? So Atlanta got crazy good, right, by signing Murray. Orlando's got some crazy young, good talent there. Boston is still Boston. They're still a good team. Even though Durant and Kyrie want out of Brooklyn, they're still going to be okay. And Philadelphia still has Embiid, who we can't beat, right? So I'm telling you, like, the East is going to be tough. Like, every night, every Eastern Conference game, every night is going to be tough. Let's see, Abel, what this Bulls team needs is that old school tough guy, Rodman, Jamin, Bobby Portis type of player. We have a team, really talented, but no dogs. Yeah, you know what? You do need an enforcer. Like, you need a guy with some kind of attitude, right? I don't know who that guy is. Like, even in free agency, there weren't very many of those guys out there that you could sign to be that enforcer, energy type of guy. Could Drummond be that guy? Maybe. He's not exactly a vocal guy. He does more of his talking just through his play and through his actions, right? I don't know. I don't know who that guy is, right? But look, if you look at the coach, Billy Donovan, right? He's not much for that kind of play or that kind of, he's more like put your head down and get to work, so, I was hoping that Bobby Portis might have considered coming back, but it sounded like he just wanted to go back, get more money. Like he he declined his player option and then was able to sign for more money with the Bucks. I don't blame him for going back, right? Yeah, Joakim was our last enforcer. Look, if you look at the championship potential teams we had enforcers in all those teams, right? But this is a different league. Like, this is a different day. I mean, even if you look at the championship teams, that like Draymond is really the epitome of that, I think, right? I think he's that energy enforcer type of guy. I don't think Boston had that kind of player, right? I mean, they had some energy guys, but I mean, Marcus Smart, maybe that's kind of questionable. I'm not sure about that, but who knows, right? I mean, like, and here's the other thing, Scopes, before I'll get to your thing, right? Look, other than some of these dominant big guys, right? Like Gobert and Embiid, I wouldn't even count AD anymore, right? But these guys aren't going very far in the playoffs, right? A lot of it is guys that are energy, can shoot the three, right? Have good, solid defense, have guys that can score from all over the court, get out in the fast break. That seems to be the way the league is going. So I think by signing Drummond, like, look, he gives us some rim protection. He's not quite the energy guy of Draymond, but look, he's got Draymond-like qualities, right? Like, he can rebound. He's not going to be a point guard, but he's a good passing big man. So again, I think that's a pretty good signing, right? Mac, what's up? What's up, cuz? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I don't know if Billy coached Steven Adams. Okay, so he might have been gone by then. Steven Adams is another energy, like, enforcer type guy, right? Aquaman, right? I would take that guy. If that guy ever became available, I'd take that guy in a heartbeat. Still on trade, Kobe train. Look, I think they wanted to trade Kobe. I just don't think they got what they wanted in return, right? And I'll be honest, like, Kobe's going to be on the bench. It's going to be hard for him to find any kind of playing time with the team that we've got. He might start, ahead of the rookie, right? Over Dalen. Like, he'll probably get some minutes over Dalen to start, right? But it's going to be a kind of year where, like, he's going to have to produce. He's going to have to provide some numbers on a nightly basis, right? But look, if you get something from Kobe, right? You get him maybe 1, 2, 3 threes a game, right? And are able to get something out of him from maybe 10 minutes a game, right? Like Vinny Johnson, add water and stir instant offense type of thing, then yeah, like, that's a bonus. Absolute bonus, right? Look, I'm loving all this interaction. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is great. This is awesome. So again, I think if we get Gallinari, Mac and I, because we talked about this earlier, right? If we get Gallinari, call it an offseason. I think that's solid. I think that's the way to go, right? Abel, Vooch is the softest big man in the league. Can't put a rebound and point guard. Look, Vooch is, let's be honest, Vooch is a stretch 5, right? I wish he would post more. I think everyone wishes he would post more. But I don't know if if he's not that, like, he's still going to give you a double-double. But, he plays like a 3. He plays like a 4, right? He's not a true center. I mean, his height tells you he's a true center, right? But he doesn't post up. He's not that kind of guy to post up. He should be posting up more. I'm hoping that something changes over the offseason, right? I hope Billy or someone has a conversation, Mo Cheeks, someone has a conversation with the guy and says, look, we need you in the paint. If he can get literally like 4, 6, 8 points in the paint every game, that totally opens everything up, right? Yeah, Abel, look, he didn't have the greatest shooting season last year from 3. That's for sure, right? I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just an off year or whatever the case was, or just because of all the new pieces and he wasn't quite sure. Look, he had a lot more offensive options than he's ever had around him and ever in his career, right? When he was in Orlando, he was it. He was the offense. When he came here to Chicago, all of a sudden, he's got DeMar, he's got Zach, he's got Lonzo, right? He's got Io, he's got other options, and I don't know if he just wasn't used to having that many options. Hopefully, having one more year together will help him feel a little more comfortable in the offense. Matt, can any young bigs truly play back in the basket? Yeah, I mean, think about it. I don't know how many bigs. I mean, look, Golden State won a championship really without a big. I mean, Kevon Looney was their big man, right? And he didn't even really post up. Not that he really needed to, because of all the shooting and offense that they had. But I'm trying to think, like Robert Williams from the Celtics, he didn't even really post up much. Embiid is really the last true center I can think of. But even then, his game is all outside. Giannis, his game is outside and driving to the hoop. I mean, the only guy I can really think of that can post up consistently if he wanted to is Joker. And Joker, like, he doesn't even have to, but if he wanted to, he could. But he's so talented offensively, like he's even dribbling from the outside all the time, and he can shoot the three. He's playing point center. So I don't know, Mac, like that's a great question, right? I don't know who else, right? James Weissman. Yeah, look, again in that offense in Golden State, Chris, thanks for the comment, right? James Weissman in that offense in Golden State, he doesn't even have to play. I mean, he could, and that would totally open up that offense for them if he's able to do that. But again, we haven't seen him. Like, we just haven't seen him because he's been injured, and his rookie year, he didn't play much, right? So I would love to see that, right? Him, even AD, right? AD doesn't even post up a whole lot anymore. A lot of his game is outside or mid-range, or even from the three. A lot of his, inside points or lobs or off of rebounds. So Matt, that was a great question. Not just the young players, but I don't know even Gobert, like, I don't think he posts much out there. He's got Spider with him, right? And he had Engels shooting also from the outside, right? And Conley, but I don't remember him really posting out there, right? Robin Lopez would be a great fit for the current Bulls roster. The only thing I think with Robin Lopez, right, is all he's good for literally is offense, defense, and passing. Like, I don't think he provides a whole lot offensively. Like, can he shoot from the outside? Yeah, right. But that's not what we're looking for. Like, we're really looking for someone that can play defense on the inside, rebound, and get us points on the inside. Robin Lopez, I don't think, is that player. Robin Lopez can shoot from the outside, there's no doubt, but I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to post up. I mean, I might be wrong with that, right? I mean, when he plays with the Bucks, he's got Giannis, right? Oh God, Chris, Felicio. I'm surprised that guy still isn't in the roster. I don't know how long we had that guy on the roster. That was Vic and I's running joke forever. Like, that guy is never going to die. Like, that guy is going to be like that cast member from Saturday Night Live that will never, ever leave, right? Like, what's the guy's name? Kenan Thompson. He's the cast member that will never, ever leave. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's funny and he's great, right? But Felicio is one of that guys. Look, out of the two Lopez brothers, if I had a choice, I want Robin, right? That's the guy that I want. So, hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in to the stream, this, late night Bulls free agency edition. Again, Bulls signed Andre Drummond, which I think, again, is a great signing. I think he fits the bill. And again, for those of you that are joining late to the stream, think about it. Our second team is IOAC. If we can sign Gallinari as the shooter, and then you got Javante and Andre Drummond, to me, that's a solid bench, right? I'll put that up against Milwaukee, right? We got two good defenders out on top. Gallinari can get you points and rebounds. Five Javantes, right? Javante is just an energy guy, right? And then you got Drummond protecting the paint, right? Abel brings up a good big thing about Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly is going to be like, even though he's a guard, he's that enforcer. Like, he's the guy that brings the attitude, right? Look, he's like a Rodman type guy, right? You hate playing against him, but that's the kind of guy you want on your team. Just like a pest, annoying, gets the crowd riled up. I think that's a good guy, right? Excuse me. That's a good guy to have on your bench or, on your team, because we don't have that guy right now, right? We do need that cheerleader type of guy, that Andre Iguodala type of guy, that veteran presence that can kind of, DeMar kind of does it, but he kind of does it more quietly, like more behind the scenes. Like when he's mean mugging out on the floor, you can tell that he's commanding everyone's attention on the team, right? And he seems to be that presence. I don't know if Zach's signing this free agent deal now. Hopefully, if he signs and we get him for the 5 years, maybe he becomes more vocal. Maybe he becomes that guy where, like, look, he's going to lead just by vocal, right? AC is kind of that guy, right? Ace, look, you've seen him when he's on the bench. And thanks for that comment there, Abel, right? AC is kind of that guy that when he's on the bench and he's not playing, he's the biggest cheerleader on the bench. Look, Chris, I would have loved to have PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker would have been an awesome signing, right? But again, like, the question I would have had with PJ Tucker, like, I think it would have been great to sign him, but he would play, like, take Javante's spot, right? Like, because he's going to be that backup four, or maybe that starting four, and then you put Patrick Williams on the bench. I don't know. But PJ Tucker would have been an interesting signing. I just from the teammate aspect and the energy, I think that would have been a great signing, right? Eldon, thanks for the comment. Look, I think Gallinari is the answer. If you can get Gallinari, I know it's between us and the Celtics right now. If you can get Gallinari to sign on, that's a great solid too, right? Mac, yeah, look, I'll take that starting five: Zoe, Zach, DeMar, P. Will, and Vooch. Say what you will about Vooch, right? Did he have the greatest year last year? No, right? But he's still going to give you a double-double. Every single night, he's going to give you a double-double, right? Zoe sounds like he's on the right track, coming back. Zach obviously is the biggest thing. We got to get him signed, but it sounds like he's going to sign. DeMar's working hard. And I'll put this out there, and I don't know what you guys think. I think Ayo's the wild card. Like, he had a great first year, right? I think Ayo's the wild card. And I think if Ayo even improves just a little, right, I think that he's going to be incredible, right? Bulls for life. Who else do we think we can get after Drummond and Gallinari? I don't know if we would get anyone else through free agency, to be honest. Like, it would have to be through a trade. I mean, look, if you guys think about it, I mentioned the top 10, right? So you're looking at Zoe, Zach, DeMar, P. Williams, Vooch. Second team would be Ayo, Caruso, Javante, potentially Gallinari, and Drummond. You still have Kobe White on the team. You still have Marco. You still have those guys still on the bench, right? So potentially you got 12 deep on the team. I don't know if you got any trade value right now for Marco or for Kobe, right? That's and you've got the rookie. That's 13. That's 13 players deep that you've got right now, right? And I think there's something to be said also. Thanks to everyone's tuning in to the stream right now. I think there's something to be said also for continuity and keeping the core together. Boston proved that, right? How many times did they say split up Tatum and Brown and Smart? Like, how many times did they say split those guys up? And they kept them together, and it paid off, right? They just added a couple of pieces here and there. And look, Robert Williams wasn't the big name center, but he played a big role in that, right? And they had the role pieces, right? So I think Eversley and Arturas and AKME I trust, right? They haven't given us any reason to doubt their process at this point. So I like the route we're going, right? I agree. Look, I think potentially could be a 6 man of the year. So could AC, right? Those two guys potentially could be a 6 man of the year. Gallinari, I think, was a past 6 man of the year, right? Am I wrong in that? Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, right? You know what, Chris? Good point. I don't know what happened with Kofi. Does anyone know where Kofi signed or where he went? I don't even remember him being drafted, right? So I don't even know where he went, but he would have been like a good signing for a 2-way contract. Let him develop for a year with Windy City and then bring him up when you need him. But I think that would have been a 2-way signing, right? Abel. Yeah, look, if nothing else with Dale and Terry that we've got, Dale and Terry, he gets it. Like, he came in with all the right answers. Look, when he knows he wants to wear 25 because of Benji Wilson and Steve Kerr, he knows his Chicago history and he knows the deal, right? That I'm telling you, that kid, just like Io last year, that kid is going to become a fan favorite this year. The fans are going to love that kid, and he's going to do everything he can to win over that crowd, right? Johnny Depp. Hey, Johnny, thanks for tuning into the channel. Congratulations on winning your court case, by the way. Can KD sign with the Bulls? For those of you who are tuning in late to the stream again, look, I don't think KD could he sign? It would have to be through a trade, right? We'd have to give up a lot. And I'll bring this up again. KD is 34. And when the time is, he's got 4 more years on his contract. By the time he finishes his contract, he'll be 38. That window is small. And in order to get him, you would have to give up a lot. The trade out there that I saw today, we would have to give up DeMar, Io, one more player, maybe the rookie, Dale and Terry, and a couple draft picks in order to get him. To me, that's too much, right? I just don't think it's worth giving up. I like the core that we've got. I know some of you guys aren't very high on Vooch, and that's understandable, right? But I like the core we got. And again, the thing that killed us last year was injuries, and the bench wasn't the greatest. Andre Drummond, I think, is a great signing. He's going to give you a double-double. He's better than Tony Bradley. He's better than any option we have on the bench. He's going to give you a double-double. And again, I'll bring this up again. He backed up AD and Joel Embiid the last couple seasons he played. He wasn't going to get a lot of playing time playing behind those guys, right? On this team, he is going to get some playing time, right? And he's going to be able to produce. That's why I think this could be like another DeMar type signing. This could be like a career renaissance for Andre Drummond. And he's only 28. He's only 28. So I think he potentially, not only this was a great signing for 2 years, but in 2 years, he could re-sign potentially being as Vooch's replacement and still give us something in the tank, right? So that's thinking a little bit further down the line. But again, I think that was a great signing, right? Skokes. Look, P. Will was drafted, right, at 4, right? That's kind of, I guess, the best available player at that point, right? AKM had only the 2nd-round draft pick when we drafted Io, and everybody was shocked that he was still there because he was supposed to go in the 1st round. And the fact that he was still there, everyone talks about it. He was a steal at the 2nd round, right? Abel, P. Will has that D Rose attitude. Won't come out of his shell until he's older on another team. Look, maybe that's true. I don't know. Look, he came in under a bad regime, right? He came in under a bad coach, and playing under Donovan now, I think he's going to be able to get some good playing time, right? Being coached the right way, I think he's going to be good. He showed flashes of it last year. That Minnesota game last year where he scored like 30 points when Zach was out, DeMar was out, and he was the primary option on offense. He showed me something, right? And I think he showed everybody something. So when he needs to, I think he can score. Look, you've got 3 guys in your starting lineup, right? DeMar, P. Will, Zach, and I'll even throw Vooch in there, right? You got 4 guys that potentially could score 20 every night on that starting lineup, right? It's not going to happen, right? But you got 4 guys, but it could be like you can get 2 20-point scorers out of that lineup. Like chances are DeMar and Zach are going to get their 20 every single night, right? If you can get a third guy, whether it's Patrick Williams or Vooch or Zoe or Gallinari or AC, whoever it is, if you can get a third guy to score 20 points, you're going to win a lot of games, a lot. And I don't know if anyone wants to, acknowledge this or not. Look, our defense is going to be better just with Drummond signing. Iowa's a year more experienced. AC hopefully will be able to play a full year if Grayson Allen doesn't knock him off and get hurt. We're going to be good, and Zoe can play a full year. You guys got to remember, like we were the number 1 team for a while, right? In the league before all the injuries hurt us. If we can stay healthy, we're still a great team, right? Delbert, thanks for the comment. Most definitely good signing by the Bulls, especially in terms of the deal. Yeah, look, getting Andre Drummond for 2 years for $6 million, $3 million a year, I think you couldn't beat that deal, right? And the second player as well as a player option for Drummond. If Drummond has a great year and he wants to come back, that's a great sign. If he doesn't have a good year, then you only have him for 1 year and then he's gone, right? So I think that was great. Who do I think they're going to ask? Again, I'll say this again. Thanks everyone for tuning into the stream. Gallinari is the guy. I think Gallinari is a proven shooter. He's going to be a perfect fit for that second unit. As far as the free agents that are out there, he's the guy. The only way you're going to get another shooter at this point is via trade, and you're going to have to give up something. So I don't know who else you could give up, right? But again, I'll bring it up again. Gallinari in that second unit, Io, AC, Gallinari, Javante, and Andre Drummond. I'll take that all day, every day. I'll put that up against Milwaukee. I'll put that up against Boston. I'll put that up against Miami. I think that's a solid second unit. And I'll be honest, like ours, and I'm not just being a homer about this, right? Zoe, Zach, DeMar, Patrick Williams, and Vooch, I'll take that starting 5 for sure, right? Mac, Kyle Anderson from Memphis, right? He signed with the Timberwolves today. The only thing, Mac, about Kyle Anderson is, and Vic and I talked about this on the stream the other night, like he was, to me, like he looked out of place with Memphis. Like he looked so slow and deliberate, and the rest of that team just wanted to run. But it looked like he was moving look, he was within the flow of things, but he honestly looked like he was moving like a different speed, like a slower speed, like he was in slow motion. I think Kyle Anderson is a great player. Like I think he can shoot. I don't think he would have been a good fit for us per se. I think he's a pretty good fit with Minnesota. I'm not exactly sure why he left Memphis, or because that's an up and coming team. Not that Minnesota isn't, but I don't know if we'll get more playing time with Minnesota. But Kyle Anderson's a good player. I just don't think he would have been a good fit with us, right? I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys think there are other players out there, right, that might be able to do that, right? With as far as a shooter that we could get through free agency. I don't know if there's anyone else out there, to be honest, with the list that's out there. And again, to everyone that's joining late, I don't get how all these free agent signings took place within an hour when you couldn't start negotiating until 6 o'clock Eastern. By 6:30 Eastern, I don't know how, I lost track of how many deals were already signed. And I think PJ Tucker was already gone. To Philadelphia. Hartenstein was already gone. And then we get dinged after for announcing we signed Zoe within 5 minutes. I don't get it, right? So someone's got to look into that because I'm not exactly sure. We need to get a draft pick back next year, right? Yeah, look, we did draft a wing, right? We drafted Dalen Terry, right? And he's a 2/3, right? So he's going to be a wing player. That's where it sounds like we're going to play him. So it sounds like that's one of the things they want him to work on is his shooting. It sounds like he's a decent shooter, not a great shooter, but he seems to be more of a passer and a slasher, which will be great, right? But we definitely need shooting. And so Johnny Depp, what are the chances of Gobert coming to the Bulls? I suppose it's always a possibility that he can come, but it would have to be through a trade, right? And I don't know who we give up. Look, you can't trade up Vooch straight up for Rudy Gobert. The numbers don't work out. There has to be something else in there. Like I think we would either have to throw in another player. I don't know what kind of draft picks we have available, right? But you wouldn't be able to trade up Vooch and Rudy Gobert straight up. The numbers don't match up. So we'd have to give up something else. Could Gobert fit in that starting lineup? Yeah, he could. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think out there on the stream, right? But I think Gobert, from what I understand, this is where he wants to come. It sounds like Utah thinks we're a good trade partner, but I think it's just a matter we give up. No way you're making that deal if you give up Vooch and Patrick Williams. There's no way you're making that deal. Maybe if you give up Vooch, maybe in a Kobe White in the draft pick, yeah, I would probably make that deal. But any other player, I think, is basically untouchable if you're going to try to make that deal. Tyler Cook, that's a great question. Let me look up really quick. I don't think he's with the Bulls anymore. I think he's a free agent. Let me look him up really quick. I think he's a free agent. So I don't think he's signed with anyone right now. Tyler Cook kind of went back and forth between the Bulls and the Windy City Bulls. I saw him play a little bit with Windy City Bulls. For those of you who don't know, I saw a lot of Windy City Bulls games. If you guys haven't been out there, it's a great place to go watch some great young talent and see some guys potentially that are going to be in the league. Marco played great down there. I got to see Devin Dotson play this year too. So if you have a chance, go out and watch a couple of those games. He did pretty well, but he needs to work on his offensive game, right? To me, like he was kind of limited offensively. He wasn't the greatest defensively, but for his type of player, his type of spot, he's got to work on his offensive game. Yeah, Bulls for life. Yeah, I don't know if Gobert is worth it, but again, it depends on what we give up. Would he be an improvement over Vooch? Defensively, yeah, for sure. Offensively, I don't know. He might open things up because he obviously isn't going to spot up. He would be in the post a lot, so he might things open up for the other players around him. But it again depends on what we have to give up in order to get him, right? AJP still need a solid score off the bench. Again, I think Io's going to be a wild card. I think Io's going to give us he's going to have a lot more confidence. I think he's going to give us something off the bench. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. Gallinari is the guy that can come off that bench and score. AC can provide you some points off the bench. I think Io is going to be good for at least 10 points a game this year, if not more. If I was going to make a bold prediction, I think Io is going to probably give you 14, 15 points off the bench, maybe 5 or 6 assists a game. If you can get 15 and 5 off of Io every single game, that would be awesome, right? I think that will be some good numbers. But I don't think at this point you're going to find like a 20-point scorer off the bench in free agency at this point. If you're going to find that kind of score, it's going to have to be via trade. Johnny Depp, is Gallinari close? From what I saw on Twitter just recently tonight, right now it's between Boston and the Bulls. And he's got to weigh his options. And I'm going to say it again, like, I think his better option is going to be with the Bulls. With Boston, they have Brown, they got Tatum, they got Smart. I don't know how much playing time he's actually going to get on that team. I don't know what kind of role he's going to play on that team. With the Bulls, I think he's another guy potentially with his offense could qualify potentially for a 6-man off the bench, right? Bulls for life. Any chance of keeping Derrick Jones Jr. or going after TJ Warren? Look, TJ Warren is an interesting option, right? I think he would be a great signing. But again, I don't know if between him and Gallinari, I would almost want Gallinari. Like, I think Gallinari is a little more consistent scoring. TJ Warren to me, if you played him, you'd be playing kind of like a 3-guard offense. If you played him, Io, and AC at the same time. But it's an interesting option, right? I guess nothing's off the table, but TJ Warren, I think, would be a good player, right? Delbert, yeah, I think San Antonio did buy him out. So from what I understand, he's free to negotiate right now, right? Chris, yes, TJ Warren definitely is more of a defensive player, absolutely, for sure, right? But we definitely have the defense. Io and AC is a solid second team defensively, right? Look, Zach, and no disrespect to Zach and DeMar, those guys can play defense, right? But not like AC or Io. Those guys are going to bring it hard, right? And Zoe's already an elite defender already, right? So you're going to have some pretty good defense. And I think, again, Andre Drummond brings a lot to the table defensively, right? Mac, edging T. Warren with the mid-range bros faction. Yeah, look, we already got the master of mid-range in DeMar, right? And Io seems to be going down that path also. And with Patrick Williams working out with DeMar, I'm sure that Patrick Williams is working on his mid-range range a lot also. So, yeah, look, it's crazy, right? Delbert, yeah, look, I don't even know if it'd be like just a shooter, right? Look, Milwaukee hit the jackpot last year when they got Grayson Allen. Everybody hates Grayson Allen, but you can't deny the guy's a shooter, right? And I brought this up also. If somehow we could pry Duncan Robinson away from Miami and get him off of Miami's bench and get him over here, I take Duncan Robinson in a heartbeat, right? If we could get Duncan Robinson off of Miami's bench and somehow get a trade for him, I'd take him in a heartbeat. Chris, yeah, Terry can defend too. Like I've heard comparisons to him and Magic Johnson. Like he's tall and he's long. And that sounds like the kind of player that we want, that Eversley and Arturas want. They want those long guys, right? So look, if he can grow into that role, yeah, absolutely. Just another defender. And again, I'll say it again. Dalen Terry is going to win over the Chicago fans. That guy's going to bring heart, hustle, and muscle every single night. And he's going to be potentially an energy guy. Um, Somewhere down the road, him and Io together are going to be fun to watch. Um, I mean, if you think about it, if you had AC, Io, Terry, Javante, those four, maybe even a Patrick Williams, like those guys together could be running and that could be a lot of fun to watch with potentially at some point with Io, AC, Zach, and Dalen Terry out on the floor at the same time. That could be fun to watch, So I'm looking forward to watching that guy play. Mac, don't even think about bringing up Matt Thomas, right? I was upset they didn't offer they didn't offer him, they tender him an offer, right? Seth Curry away from Brooklyn. I don't know what we'd have to give up. And again, it's that thing again, right? Like, who would we be able to give up in order to get a player like a Seth Curry or a Duncan Robinson? Who would we have to give up? I think the asking price for Seth Curry is going to be too high. And with all the trades that are going to happen with Brooklyn, Seth Curry is going to be one of their main pieces in Brooklyn. Patty Mills went back and re-signed. Who knows what Ben Simmons is going to be, right? But it's not like they're – and Claxton, I don't know if I read that right, if he re-signed with them or not, right? But they still have some pieces, and Seth Curry could still be a part of that, right? And so I think that's still potential good one. Like it would be too much, I think, to give up to get Seth Curry. Yeah, look, we could have kept James Johnson for sure, but again, who would have known, right? But look, most everyone here is Bulls fans, right? It always seems like players that leave the Bulls and they go on to their second team, right? Bobby Portis being a great example of that, right? They leave the Bulls and they go on to have a great career or become a great player with another team, right? Bobby Portis, Jimmy Butler, right? All these players that got drafted by the Bulls, they go on to another place and seem to have great careers. So, Delbert, yeah, look, all those years with Gar and Pax for sure lost. But again, AK and ME, in them I trust. I think they're doing a great job. As long as Reinsdorf doesn't screw it up like he did with the White Sox, we'll be okay, right? One of the Martin twins is shooter at the end of the bench. Yeah, potentially, Skokes, right? Potentially, but we'll see. I mentioned this earlier. If you can get something out of Kobe, we've seen Kobe in spots, right? Maybe he's going to be motivated to prove that he can still play and maybe pick up with someone else, right? But if you can get 2 or 3 3-pointers a game from Kobe, because now he doesn't have to be the point guard. Like he can literally, and again, I'll bring this up, and Mac, if you're still on, you'll enjoy this reference, right? If he could be that Vinnie Johnson, just add water and stir, instant offense type of guy, right? If he could be that guy that you bring him in the game for spot minutes and he gives you 10, 12 points, I'll take it. It's better than nothing, right? Let's see here. Johnny Depp, in addition to becoming Drummond and possible getting Gallinari, do you think the Bulls can bring any more great shooters? Again, I think the only way we can get another shooter outside of Gallinari is going to have to be through a trade. Whether it be a Duncan Robinson, whether it be a Seth Curry, the only other way you're going to get another shooter is through a trade. And again, it's a matter of who we give up. Am I willing to give up Iowa at this point? No. Kobe, sure, right? I'm not willing to give up Javante and pretty much everyone else on the team. You're not giving up, right? So it's a matter of who it is, right? Kobe's definitely going to have look, Kobe's going to have a hard time finding minutes. Let's be honest, right? Maybe at the start of the season, he's going to play more than Dalen Terry, but Dalen Terry, I think, is going to steal minutes away from Kobe. If Kobe doesn't start out shooting well or playing well, Dalen Terry is going to get those minutes, right? Mac, I thought you'd appreciate that comment, right? Just add water and stir, instant offense. Skokes, we've talked about this before, right? Kobe's going to have to fight for minutes, especially with that second unit that I just mentioned. If we can get Gallinari, it's going to be Io, AC, Gallinari, Javante, and Drummond in that second unit. Maybe on certain nights, or maybe because of injury, or maybe because you're resting a player, Kobe sneaks his way into the rotation. But Kobe's going to have to work hard to get minutes. They're just not going to give it to him this year. Like, he's just not going to be part of that rotation from what I can see, right? Yeah, look, Delbert, again, Kobe's still on the team, right? He did show glimpses last year, especially right around the trade deadline, right? There were times where he showed some glimpses. He, as Marv Albert would say, he showed signs, right? He was showing signs. And there were a couple of games where he was just hot. He couldn't miss, right? So Kobe, I think, again, if you can get something out of Kobe, just spot minutes off the bench, come in, give us a couple of threes off the bench, give us 10 points, right? I'll take it, right? And I don't know, maybe you guys can comment here, right? I think there's a magic number of points we need to score every single game, right? And I think if the Bulls can score 115 every game, they're going to win, right? Because of their defense. I think their defense is going to be a lot better this year. Just from Andre Drummond alone, we had no bench. Tristan Thompson was not the answer. Tony Bradley was not the answer. Tyler Cook was not the answer. Andre Drummond is going to give you a double-double every single night, right? And he's going to stabilize that paint area. That's what killed us last year. Second team offenses came in and they just ran over us. Think about it. If you got AC and Io defending out on top, right? And even if the other guys get beat and then they got to go against Andre Drummond at the rim, I'll take it. I'll take it, right? The defense is going to be better. But if we can score like 115 points every single game, yeah, for sure, we're going to win a ton of games. And again, I'll take, even with all these free agency moves and all these signings, right? Even Joe Ingles signing up in Milwaukee, right? Detroit got a lot better. Cleveland is getting better. Atlanta got better, right? Orlando has crazy young talent, and they beat us last year, right? I'll still take this team. We just have one more piece, and it's got to be a shooter. And if we can get Gallinari, if somehow we can convince Gallinari to be that signing, I'll be honest, like, even though the East is tougher, I think we got a shot. So I don't know what you guys think. Thanks to everyone that's been tuning into the stream. I really appreciate it. Vic, I know you're out there somewhere. Hopefully you enjoyed your concert tonight. Thanks to everyone that's been watching here on Twitter and on YouTube. I really do appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe so you get notified on future episodes. I saw someone out there, Mac Thibault from Philadelphia. I know there was a rumor out there that potentially he could come to the Bulls. Look, if he could come to the Bulls, again, I don't know who we'd have to give up to get him. He would be a definite upgrade from the defensive side for sure, right? And to throw him in with that second unit, I think would make that a crazy good team, right? AJP, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for making a comment. Yeah, healthy Zoe is what we need. I don't know if you guys saw that report out there. It sounds like Zoe might train with the summer league team. I know there was some kind of crazy report that he was going to actually play in the summer league, which would have been a stupid idea. Um, but it sounds like he's out in LA and he's playing and he's training. It sounds like things are going well there. So, look, if we can get Zoe back and get him healthy, we're good, right? Um, again, everyone, I can't say this enough, right? We were the number one team for a while, like for the first, I don't know, 30, 40 games. We were the number one team with that lineup, right? And to me, right now, like we're better right now as constructed, assuming that Zach signs, assuming that Zoe is healthy, right? And Patrick Williams is healthy. We're a better – Patrick Williams didn't even play when we were the better team, right? We're good. Skokes, Thibault, Terry's potential. Yeah. Look, Dalen Terry, again, he hit all the right notes. He said all the right things. He's bringing the right energy. He's a little bit opposite of Io in that he's a little more vocal, I think, which is good, right? I think he's going to be a little more vocal, which is great, right? But so far, I think that those Eversley and AK have hit it out of the park with their drafts so far, right? They've been able to get great value for the picks that they've gotten. And look, Dalen Terry is still be seen, right? But I honestly think that he's going to be a fan favorite, just like Io was last year. That guy's going to bring some good energy to the United Center. I can't wait to get to my first game to watch him play this year. I think he's going to be really good. I'll be interested to watch him, see what he does in the summer league, see what he does, right? Delbert, if we can stay healthy, our chemistry. Look, you're absolutely right. Our chemistry last year was great, and I think it would only get better if we're all healthy. Even when we weren't healthy, the chemistry was great, right? Seeing AC on the bench helping coach, players up every single game, right? The way they were talking to Io and working with Io, DeMar going to Io's numbered jersey retirement at U of I, just shows how much the chemistry they have between this team. And everyone's wanting Zach to resign. There was a comment from AC that he wants Zach to get his money, but he wants him to sign here, right? DeMar saying the same thing. He wants him to be able to sign here. AJP, do I think Zach is going to step and be the first scoring option this year? I don't think it was a matter of not being the first scoring option, to be honest. I just think it just kind of way the offense flowed. When DeMar was getting hot in the fourth quarter, it wasn't a matter of him being the first scoring option. I think at that point, Zach was hurt. I think his knee was bothering him all year, and he still produced. But if he signs this max contract, I don't think any player on this team is going to have a problem to deferring to Zach being number one option at all. And I almost think it makes us better, because if Zach is scoring, that just opens it up more for DeMar. It opens it up for Patrick Williams. It opens it up for Vooch, because you got to focus on Zach. And if it does that, we're going to win a ton of games. I have no doubt about that. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like Boston, right? With Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, right? Some nights it's Brown, some nights it's Tatum, right? But when Tatum is on and he's on his game, the whole team is better. And I think that's kind of how it is with Zach. If Zach is on his game, he's scoring 25, 28, 30 points a game, the whole team's better, right? Mac, if Zach wants his, yeah. Mac, I don't know if you saw those reports, right? You're right. The Bulls are the ones that can sign him the max money. The reports out there is that some of the teams were talking to him through back channels, to Zach through back channels, and all of them got the impression that they were a distant second that he was going to do his due diligence and that he was going to talk to other teams. But at the end of the day, he was going to sign with the Bulls. So again, I don't think it's any rush per se. And I think the Bulls are operating as if though he's going to sign. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. But you're right. With all the other signings that had took place today, it would have been nice to have gotten that out of the way and just have him back in the fold. But I think it's just a matter of time. I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? Skokes, maybe I did read that wrong, right? AJP, and sorry if I read that wrong. Look, if Zach is our best player, look, we're going to pay him to be our best player. Bottom line, we're going to pay him to be the best player. And maybe with that out of the way, Zach steps it up and is going to be our best player. If Zach is our best player, and I know Vic harps on me all the time because any of you that watch our podcast throughout the year, I was always hating on Zach. I was hating on Zach because I want Zach. I know Zach can be more. I know Zach can be that dominant of a player, right? My biggest pet peeve with Zach was he doesn't go body hunting when he goes to the rim. Like, he likes to put a lot of English. He likes to not necessarily avoid the contact, but like, I want him going for those power dunks. I want him going for the contact and getting himself to the free throw line. Get himself to the line like 4, 5, 6 more times every single game. Zach is that type of player. He's that good, right? That's the kind of Zach that I want to see out on the floor. And if he's that player, we're a great team. There are very few players that are like Zach LaVine that are in the NBA. He can be that kind of good player. And if he's that dominant and that good, he's going to lead us to a couple of finals and hopefully a couple of championships, right? Delbert, yeah, Zach didn't seem to be healthy all year. And I'll say this out there. Look, I coach, right? And not that I've ever coached NBA players, right? But look, it takes time for players, even though they have great chemistry, it takes time for players to get to know each other and to play well with each other. And the good thing with this team was that there was no egos per se when DeMar got hot. When DeMar got hot, Zach had no problem deferring to him and letting him take the ball in the fourth quarter, right? Same thing when Zach got hot. They deferred to him. It's nice to have those two options, right? But that's where I like the idea of keeping the core intact. That's why I like the idea of keeping Vooch here, right? It worked for Boston, right? Boston was able to keep Tatum and Brown and Smart together when they said break them up, and it paid off. I think the same thing is going to happen with the Bulls. I think you're going to see a much better, even though they were hurt by injuries, whatever the case was, I think you're going to see these guys play. The chemistry is going to even be out of the roof, the way they play together, the way they play off of each other, Patrick Williams being back in the fold. I honestly think that the offense is going to be much crisper. The offense is going to be a lot more consistent, and you're going to see a lot better production. I think you're going to see the efficiency go up a lot higher this year because players are going to know where they're going to want to be. They're going to know when players are hot. They're going to start knowing where players like the ball and where they're going to be positioned. I think you're going to see a better year out of Vooch. Patrick Williams obviously is going to come out of his shell. So I think that's where it's going to be, right? Another year together, I think is the right plan of attack. Scopes, let's see. Yeah, look, Scopes, we need Zach back. You're not going to find another player that with that kind of talent. He's got to come back. And it sounds like it's going to happen. He's going to come back, right? Darius, thanks for checking in. Look, if Patrick Williams can give you, again, I think potentially he could be a 20-point scorer every single night, right? DeMar's going to get 20 every night. Zach is going to get 20 every night. If you can get even 15 out of P. Williams, 20 would be awesome. But if you can get 15 and let's say 8 rebounds a game, you can get 15 and 8 out of that guy every game. Yeah, that's going to be scary. Because if you think about it, Javonte was our starting power forward when he wasn't playing. And Javonte wasn't a scorer, and he was getting rebounds. He was playing great defense, but he barely scored double figures every game. But if you can get Patrick Williams to score 10, 12, 15 points every game, yeah, for sure. AJP can give us 27. Yeah, I think Patrick Williams, look, potentially he is your potential offense, right? DeMar's getting up in age. He's probably going to get you 20 this year, every single game, maybe for another year, right? But the more you can develop Patrick Williams, and he could be that kind of player and that kind of star, he's the kind of guy you can build around. When Zach signs the max for 5 years, him, Patrick Williams, Io, AC, Dalen Terry, that's not a bad core necessarily to build around. And Zoe, right? That's not a bad one, right? Yo boy, I hope I said this right. Yo boy, Taven, thanks for checking in. Appreciate it, right? Look, Skokes, Robinson from New York, right? He got overpaid. Mitchell Robinson from New York signing for 4 years for $60 million, $15 million a year. He's not worth that much. Would I have loved to have signed him? Yes, absolutely. Not for that much money. No way. I think he's really more, if we could have gotten him maybe around the 10 million range, yeah, for sure. But not at that price. Like he's probably at most maybe 25, 27-minute player a game. I don't see how you could sign that much a player of that caliber for that much money. Right. So look, this has been fun tonight, guys. I appreciate everyone that's been checking in and kind of staying with me on the stream here. This has been a lot of fun. No, I don't know. I don't think Mitchell Robinson signed yet, but that's what they was offered on the table. It sounds like that's what he's being offered was 4 years for $15 million, each $60 million deal total. I don't know if anyone's even going to match that. I don't even know if anyone wants to match that. But I will say the one thing that does throw a wrench into everything is Kevin Durant, right? And Kyrie. I think Kevin Durant said he wants to play in Miami or Phoenix. In order for him to play in Miami, it's going to have to be like a 3-way trade, right? In Phoenix, they have assets to give up, but who knows if they're going to be able to make that happen, right? And it could be that New York's a third partner in that, right? But I don't know why they would want to help out Brooklyn, right? I don't know why they would want to do that, but who knows? Maybe if they got the right deal and they got the right players out of it, they could potentially want to sign him, right? Be part of the 3-way trade. Who knows? But maybe some of these, because if you notice, everyone noticed today, a lot of the free agent signings were players that went back to the same teams. There wasn't a whole lot of movement like the big names of players signing with a different team, right? Harden sounds like he's going back to the Sixers. Booker signed a max deal, right, with Phoenix. All the big names are out there. The biggest name I think that actually traded teams might have been PJ Tucker, that actually moved teams. Kyrie hasn't moved on yet from Brooklyn. KD obviously hasn't moved on yet. Joe Ingles did sign with Milwaukee, but I don't know if that was consider that a huge signing or not. But no major moves as far as those kind of free agents transferring teams. A lot of players, like Bobby Portis turned down his option, but he went back to the Bucks anyway for more money, right? Mo Bamba went back to the Magic. So it just sounds like a lot of these players just end up re-signing with their teams just for more money. So I can't see any, like not a whole lot of big movement. But again, who knows? The KD thing is going to hold everything up, I think, at this point. You're going to get through this flurry today, right? Yeah, Hartenstein also went to the Knicks. So I don't know if that was a big deal again per se, but he was one player that Bulls potentially would have been interested in. But again, I like the Andre signing. I think the Drummond signing was a good one. So, all right. So I'm going to wrap this up for tonight, everyone. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Vic should be back with me hopefully on the stream. Maybe tomorrow. Probably do another one tomorrow. We'll see. But if anything else breaks out, we'll go ahead and put ourselves back out there. If you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. The like button definitely helps us out with the algorithm, gets more people watching the channel. If you do enjoy the content, we do appreciate it. One other thing is Vic and I are talking about this right now. We want to make this more of a community type thing. So we're looking to do like a weekly Sunday stream where we invite some of you on to go ahead and watch, be a part of the stream, join us for discussions, not just on the Bulls, but all Chicago sports. So thanks again for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. Have a great night. Peace, love, and digits.